So here is Sharpie at Ocala International, and I'm just working here right before I go into the dressage ring to make sure I have kind of the canter and focus that I want, to make sure I can come down the center line to make a good impression, making sure I'm straight and trying to get all the points I possibly can. And then I'm going to ask for the trot at I. Now for this test, which is the 3-star test, I have 3 judges, one at C, one at M, and one at E. So they have all different kinds of angles. So we're coming across the diagonal for a medium trot, which I can do in the posting. He's getting better. That trot's still developing. He's still a little hurried, but he's getting stronger and stronger for that. Now I do my shoulder in. He puts in a pretty good angle. I'm just working on the head tilt just a smidge and I'm able to fix it. And then I do a half 10-meter circle, straighten, and then another half 10-meter circle. And Sharpie is the type of horse that he likes to know where he's going, so he's kind of a rare thoroughbred where I can practice the tests on him a lot because he actually gets more and more comfortable when he knows what's coming next instead of anticipating. And now into our walk. And I turn left. You see his mouth is getting a little busy, but I'm just trying to keep him relaxed. We come in for our halt. It's a little not square, but that's okay. Into the back, 4 steps. Proceed into the walk. And there you can see my judge at E, her box. Now I'm going into the extended walk, really wanting him to reach out. And you see he starts to take the rein. He's really overstepping and marching. It's a very good walk. And then collect him back up into the medium. And he's got a little bit against me there, but into the canter. And now medium down the long side, S to K. I really want to try to keep the shoulder forward so the haunches don't swing to the inside. He stayed pretty straight for me there. And now 10-meter circle. I am better about knowing this test now since I've ridden it a couple of times. And now I'm going to, at P, go across a short diagonal and canter walk over X. And pick up my canter. It's pretty obedient. He maybe was a smidge against my hand, but he's really getting much stronger and starting to sit more on this hind end and really collecting for the canter, which gives you a really nice feeling. And now I just go to the next canter walk. I'm really pushing him into it with my seat and leg. And then off into the canter. So he's a good boy for those. And then we break into the trot at K. And now finishing up some of my lateral work, which I try to put him in a little shoulder for before I ask. But you see I kind of got the haunches a little early there. Into the half pass. And he's actually quite good at those half passes. So the test calls to be half pass in between S and H. And he's very willing to go over. And I can sometimes get there a little soon. So trying to be accurate, which I do here, I realize I'm getting there a bit too soon. And I should have just kept on pressing because I kind of lost the engagement a bit right there. We got straight. And then I kept going. And so that was a little bit of a mistake on my part where I lost some points there. And now we have to do our final stretchy trot. F, half 20 meters circle. And he's really willing to go and reach out. Doesn't really change the cadence of his trot or anything. And then back down the center line. for our final halt. We were second to go, and surprisingly, he was in first for a good little ways. So the judges were, I guess, happy with how he was going. And again, he's a really fun horse to ride because he's very consistent.
What? You're not playing with it now?
No, it's giving it to me. Yeah, we need to do that after.
You're a silly boy. Silly boys. Silly boy.
What?
I don't want to. Ugh. I wish they would go away. Hey.
So this is a stark contrast to what it was earlier in the morning. We had so much rain, and the Ocala crew really did an amazing job. The organizers, the course designers, and the grounds guys really did an amazing job making sure that we could stay on track, even with our delays, and we still had a great course to run on. So out of the box, my plan was to be a little slow with Sharpie the first couple of minutes. It's really important for him to kind of settle into a good balance and rhythm, and not go too quick, because I want to make sure he stays in a pretty good shape. So, my plan was to be nice and tidy with how tight my lines were and where I could shave off here or there, but I could ride in a steadier canter. So you'll see me kind of disappear when we have our first combination of 2 houses with the 5 stride, and I actually added and did 6 there. And now coming to a bigger table. Again, just settling here. And he actually jumps. The bigger they are, the better he jumps it, because it helps him kind of back off and rock back on his hind end. Now coming to this water, I wanted to make sure I came in nice and steady, and he was very careful with how he jumped in there. And then keeping my power up, and he jumped out good over the house. And you'll see this roping, we had to go around here. They actually had to take a loop out because there was so much water in a certain area, but the footing felt amazing. So it wasn't a big deal. I just adjusted the time a little bit. We come to this angled 2 stride. Sharpie just stays perfect on that line there. Super good. And then I'm going to let him I'm going to start to push a little bit more on my speed now. You see he's kind of got his ears flickering. He's listening. He's galloping nice and up. It's really fun to see how much he's changed in the past couple of years in his balance and strength and everything. Now coming to a ginormous table, and he just steps right over it. No problem. I'm heading to, had a ramp that had a little bit of ground on the backside that we had to drop on, and then a right-handed turn to a chevron. And he does that pretty easily. And I was able to kind of stay on kind of the side of the hill there, not really get down into where there was the water. And again, just trying to ride really kind of tight lines, shaving off as many seconds as I can without necessarily having to go faster with speed, but just efficient with my lines. And we'll be coming to kind of a bluish table. Steps right over that. And now I can let him kind of gallop up a little bit. Again, I have to be kind of smart with him where I let him move a little faster in keeping his balance. And then coming to the bigger fences, it's a little bit easier because he respects them more, so he'll balance and come back and jump those, versus if it's a little smaller, I have to make sure I'm a little slower on my speed. He jumps that beautifully out of stride. And now we come to a ditch and wall. Again, that wasn't a problem. We had a ditch and wall to a accuracy question with the dunes, stepped right through that, and then we had another tricaner, which is a log with a ditch underneath it, and he stepped right over that. And now heading to what's called the coffin, where we have a kind of chevron coming to that with a ditch on the angled two-stride. And he was really good where I can start to really make up time. I can keep the balance. I'm not having to adjust him too much. So here you can see him come through the coffin.
Well done.
It was really good through there. So now I'm coming to another oxer, so I have some time in between here to kind of keep him on moving. And I'm going to try to ride the closest inside line that I can in order to save ground and time, because for him I had to start off pretty slow to get into a rhythm, and then I have to kind of make up a little bit of time. So just rebalanced, sat up, jumped that beautifully in stride. And now coming to probably one of the biggest questions on the course with the water combination. And I'm gonna do my point of turn here. I wanted to ride to the left side. We got just a little sticky, so I had made the decision to stay farther to the left. He went a little right. And then I kind of did a little bit of trot step. He was super clever. It was something I was really pleased with, how he kind of really thought that through, that combination, because we weren't quite foot perfect, but it was well within his capabilities. So now we're heading on down to kind of the last loop of the course. Jumping this table. Got a little kind of quick in the front on it, but my other horse, Munson, did that as well there. So now I'm setting up here for this 4-stride. Land 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well done.
Pretty much foot perfect there. Nice and quick and in a good balance. And now I'm really trying to make up a little bit of time on this loop. He's pretty funny. He jumps over this pedal. I got a little bit of a steeplechase fence here, so I can kind of keep rolling, and I'm going to ride to that right side. Again, saving as much ground as possible. And I'm letting him kind of cruise here, but I'm going to have to dial him way back, kind of start slowing down here at the road, because the next combination we have is a 2-stride, and it's set at 33 feet. And so when you're nearing the end of the course, the horse's strides are much longer, and of course we've been going a little quick, so you got to really make sure you got the good balance. Jump that really nicely. And now moving on to our last fence. And I see a good shot to it. Always want to make sure you ride proper to the last. And then kind of let him zoom on up. He was pretty fun to have that gas pedal there. And he came right back. But he had plenty of energy at the end. And I was super pleased with how he performed during that cross country. So I'm just going to let him trot a little bit. Kind of let the heart rate start to slow down. We're coming into the vet box where the vets are going to check the horses for their temperature, their heart rate, and their breathing. So again, here I'm just kind of doing another little loop, just so I don't just hop right off. So then as soon as I get in the box, see my student Megan is there with the halter. We're going to hop off, take all his tack off. We have ice water and get him just all nice and cooled down. So very, very proud of Sharpie. He was super. And then the first part of my show jump was we had a bit of a glitch, but this is fences 2 and 3. And going down that line, I just added 1 too many. I'd planned on doing 8 and I did 9, and I caught that rail. Came to the buckeye, jumped that super good. Then coming into this triple, felt really good here. And I was kind of disappointed because I had 2 rails, the very first jump, and then that jump number 3. And I thought, okay, but then he was really coming up and over the fences. Jumped that oxer really good. And I came and I hunted on down to this fence. And he just tinked it with the hind end. And I thought, oh, goodness sharps. We got 3 rails. We got the last line to do, bud. Come on. Jumps the lollipop super good. Really good through the double. And then coming through the last line. Just left him a little gappy, but overall he completed his first 3-star long, and I was very pleased with him.